Hi.
Hi,
So nice to meet you, Shakira.
thank you.
How are you feeling today?
A little overwhelmed.
Yeah, what brings you in today?
Um, I'm anxious. I feel anxious. I have a lot going on. And even though sitting here, I have like heart palpitations. I have a lot on my mind, and I'm going through a lot. I'm going through foreclosure,
Hmm.
and my job is downsizing. They've not told us what's going to happen to us yet.
Oh,
And I have a sick mother at home that I'm helping to care for, and two small children under 10. So,
wow,
yeah,
it's a lot.
yeah. So I need to talk to somebody. I'm really, really overwhelmed right now. This has been like giving me tension at work. I sleep early. I go to bed early because I don't want to have to think about it. I'm not functional like I used to be. I try to because I'm a Christian and I know what the Bible tells me, but it's reality, and this is what's hitting me. I'm not overly like depressed. I've never used that word. I don't believe I'm depressed. I know the issues at hand. I know what I have to go, what I'm going through, but it is a lot.
Yeah,
So,
just about what you're telling me, I can see that there's definitely a lot going on. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. I know that on top of everything you have going on, that must be really hard. Before we even go anything else, I can see that you're a little agitated. You keep placing your hand on your heart, and that tells me that there's a lot of anxiety. So we're just going to practice something. We're just going to do some deep breaths.
okay.
We're going to sit up straight. I want you to place your hand on your heart. The point of this is for you to be present in this moment, because right now there's a lot of thoughts going through your mind. And so you're racing and you're a little anxious right now as you're sitting here. So I'm going to try to bring you back down. Okay. So just breathe in deep with me. Out. So we're going to do that 3 more times, but I want you to hold it for 4 seconds and then try to release it for 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do that again. And just one more time. Just kind of brings us back down to where we are. I know that that's really difficult to try to do in the middle of 2 kids running around and having all these other things happening around you. But I want you to try to remember to do some deep breaths throughout the day. It's going to be really helpful. Just stop in the middle of anything that's going on and just try to take those deep breaths in. It's really just going to help ground you back, okay? And bring you back. Okay?
I do feel better.
Yes.
I feel a little better. Thank you.
Just a little bit. Just take a breath.
Yes, thank you.
So I want you to tell me a little bit about your mom. How long has this been going on with her for?
Maybe for the past 2 years. She had her own place and she suddenly got sick. And so I have no siblings. I'm an only child.
Wow.
So everything falls on me. And I'm not the best in time management or putting things together, but I have to make the best. My mom has been very good to me over the years. She's been a very great mom. My dad passed away a long time ago, so she's all I have, and I'm all she has. So here I am. I do, it's my obligation. I feel like it's my obligation.
Yeah, I hear you saying that, or referring to something like that. Earlier, when you were talking about being a Christian, you said that you don't believe in being depressed, and that you add, because the word says that you can't feel like this. And now I hear you say that you have an obligation, that you have to do these things. And so, I hear you saying a lot of things that you have to do, you're obligated to do. Can you tell me a little bit more about where that feeling of you have to do these things, it comes from, like the obligation, or when you're talking about how as a Christian you can't feel like this, because the word says that you can't be, I think it was depressed, is that correct, the word that you used?
Oh, that's a very good question. Going back to the word, I believe what God says, and He never said that we'll be out of trouble. And Depression, I think, goes a little bit deeper, and I will not go there because my hope is in Christ. And I believe that He will lift me out of it. I just have to fight. I know that for a fact, and I'm okay with that. So depression is not something, I know it's real for other people, and for me, I'm not trying to pretend that it can't be for me, but I refuse to allow that to be a part of my life because I know that I'll get through this. It's just at the moment, it's just too much. So for me, even though my faith is there and I'm not gonna put anything on my faith that my faith says I'm to be a specific way.
Okay.
I'm just lining up myself with what the scriptures tell me, and I know I'll overcome this. It's just everything is just falling on me all at once. And to answer the second question, my mother, I believe it's my obligation because there's nobody else. What am I gonna do? Put her in a nursing home or have somebody else care for her? To me, she's my responsibility as my children are, because she's been so good to me over the years. And even now in her sickness, she helps me. And I don't want to resent her. I feel like I could almost resent her, but it's not her fault. I know that. It's not my fault. I know that. But here it is. What do I do? So I'm just in a rock and a hard place.
No, it's definitely tough. I definitely see that. Can you share with me some of the things when you said it's too much? We could go back there a little bit, and you talked about it being too much. Everything is too much. Can you give an example of something that's happened that makes you feel that this is too much?
Well, like I said, I have the foreclosure going on. And it also, here, I'm saying I'm not trying to resent my mom, it's not her fault, but when she moved in with me 2 years ago, I had to make some choices. I had to use some of my own resources. I had to borrow money from other people just to be able to settle her in, buy certain equipment for her that she has to have. And so it sort of set me behind. But in my mind, I'm thinking my mother comes first. But no, in retrospect, I mean, she still comes first. But no, here I am. I have 2 small children I'm responsible for, as well as her, as well as me. So here I am. So
maybe my question wasn't, I don't think my question was clear enough. What I was trying to get to is like, how have you, as being a mom and a mother, and a worker, because you work somewhere, how do you feel like you can't handle those things? Not what's happening that you can't handle it. Maybe a situation where you haven't been able to handle it specifically.
I think I know what you're saying. I'm not sure. But you're asking me about the feelings of why, or the reason why I feel like I can't handle, why I'm not managing?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So for example, you're very overwhelmed with your day and you snap at the kids, and they didn't really do anything to deserve you snapping at them, but they ended up getting that. And so it made you feel as
like
though,
a failure.
like it's too much and you can't handle it. And so I'm trying to figure out what situations have occurred that are making you say to yourself, I can't handle this, this is too much.
To be honest, it's not an event, it's a feeling. I feel like a failure. I feel like I fail my children. I feel like I fail my mother. Because I know we're going to be out of a home. And my job is almost, I'm not sure where I fit. Did I do well on my job? Did I not? So here I am trying to make 2 ends meet and trying to make sure everything fits. But I feel like I failed. Me personally, like I've been trying to hold everything down, but now what do I do with my children? What do I say?
So how have you failed your kids?
Because now we're gonna be homeless. Not homeless, you see? That's not the word, because I'm hopeful. But I'm now gonna have to find somewhere. And the thing is, I'm not able to pay the mortgage now. So when I look for somewhere to rent, it's even more than the mortgage. So that's another thing that's bothering me. Like, how much am I gonna have to pay if I can't afford what I have now? So what do I say to my children when we have to pack up all their things and their rooms have to go and you have to throw out some of the things or give it away? What am I gonna tell them? What am I gonna tell my mom? Like, she doesn't know all of it, because I don't want to burden her. She's going through her own struggles. So I really have. I mean, I talk to people at church, and sometimes it's best if you just want to keep church to church sometimes.
Okay.
And I think the pastor is so good, he's so overwhelmed. I believe that. So that's why I'm here.
Everybody's overwhelmed. Your mom's overwhelmed, so you can't talk to your mom. The pastor's overwhelmed, you can't talk to the pastor.
Yeah.
But you're overwhelmed too.
I'm very overwhelmed. And I don't know, I think it's just a very hard time. And I'm losing. Everything is just falling out my hands. I have no control over anything. And I'm not a controlling person. I don't have to have things, like, oh, it's perfect. But when you see that you've reached this place, what do you do? Who do I turn to? What do I do next?
Mm-hmm.
It's.
I see what you're saying. I noticed that you have this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. This is just an observation that I'm making as we're talking, getting to know a little bit more about you. But it's almost like you're feeling hopeless, but you don't really want to admit that you're feeling hopeless because you feel like it goes against what you're supposed to be believing. Or it's contradicting all these things that you believe. Because multiple times in our conversations, you have said, I'm feeling like this or I'm feeling like that, and then you contradict yourself right away and say, no, but I don't feel like that, or I can't feel like that because I have hope in this or that. And I kind of want you to do a little bit of reflecting on that, because as a Christian myself, I also have some of those struggles myself, but I see God as somebody who is accepting of me feeling hopeless even in those moments. And that's what makes him so wonderful. And so I'm not sure what it is. I would like to know more about what it is that makes you feel like God doesn't accept you like that in that moment, whether it be that you feel depressed or whether it be that you feel hopeless. Mm-hmm. God is still that God for you in that moment, or whether you're saying I'm hopeless and I no, I have hope. Yeah. He's still the same God. He doesn't change. Right. His love for you doesn't change.
Right. And I know his love doesn't change, but maybe I'm taking all of it too much on me. Maybe what you're saying is I need to sort of rest some of it in his hands and allow myself to just go with it, knowing that he'll see me through. So, you make a good point. Maybe I am, maybe I don't need to hold so many things to myself. Maybe I should just let it be, let go, and it's gonna be difficult for me. I just feel like I've never been here before,
and this is a new
it's a new feeling. It's a new road that I've never traveled on. So I guess I'm being challenged, and that's where I'm having like a roadblock.
I know that you have a lot going on, and so I'm not sure if this would work for you. Have you ever done any journaling?
No.
What's your time look like realistically in a day? Whether it be a lunch break or before you go to bed, where you could take 2-3 minutes. You could even put it as a timer on your phone and journal some of the things that you're feeling, some of the thoughts that you're going through.
I'll try. I mean, in the evenings when I get home, I try to put my kids to bed early because I just go to bed. I fall asleep with exhaustion because I just don't have to deal with it. I don't want to have to think about what I have to do. So that's a problem for me.
Okay. So I would like for you, if you would be open to it, to make a list. I want you to start off with your kids. Just write a list of things that you do for them throughout the day. And maybe you could do it for a few days or for a week and just jot down what you do as a mom.
Okay.
And we're just kind of reflect on that when we start next week. We are out of time for the session.
Okay.
But I would love for you to be able to come back and we can kind of dive into this a little bit more next week and talk about some of the things that you do as a mom on a weekly basis, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. It was my pleasure.